The ACLU has now filed a lawsuit essentially telling the federal government that Trump says he's declassified all these documents you took from Mar-a-Lago, so all we're saying in our lawsuit is put up or shut up, right? If he did issue a standing order to declassify these documents, the lawsuit says, you would have a record of that. So all we're asking is comply with our Freedom of Information Act request to send us that standing order that we just want to see it. We just want to know that it exists. We just want to make sure, that Donald Trump's not out there lying to everybody. Oh, heaven forbid that. That's not something he would do, right? So here's the thing about this lawsuit, which, by the way, I absolutely love. The ACLU, shortly after Trump started making all his claims that, I've declassified everything, the ACLU sprung into action and they requested from multiple government agencies via Freedom of Information Act requests any information they have about these documents being declassified, right? Here's what they say. It appears that one of two things must be true. Either Mr. Trump potentially imperiled national security by stealing classified documents and storing them in a hotel, or Mr. Trump potentially imperiled national security by issuing a, quote, standing order that arbitrarily declassified sensitive materials based solely on their physical movement within the White House. And they're saying if such a standing order exists, it would have to be recorded so that the government agencies in charge of the documents would know that these were now declassified. That's how the process works. Even if the president gets a hold of a document and says, I declassify you, there's still paperwork that has to be filled out in order for the entire government to understand that this document is in fact declassified. Standing over it and saying, I declassify you is not the end of the process. And if that's the only thing that happened, then it is not legitimate in the eyes of the government. And that, of course, is what the ACLU is trying to figure out. And they know the answer. That's the whole point of this. They're not trying to make sure Trump didn't lie. They're trying to prove to the public that Trump did lie. Because we all know it happened. We just need that extra concrete proof from the government. Now, you do have several agencies that did respond to the Freedom of Information Act request, and therefore they are not subject to this lawsuit by the ACLU. One of them is the Department of Homeland Security that came back after their request, and they said, basically, quote, there's no standing order matching Trump's description that could be found. But the CIA and the NSA have yet to respond. Now, they were required to, but they didn't, and that is why those two agencies are now the targets of this lawsuit. We'll see what happens. We know what's going to happen. Whether they respond or not, we know there is no standing order. Again, Homeland Security is not the only government department that confirmed, we don't have this standing order, so that's probably not a thing. Other agencies did admit the same thing. The CIA, the NSA, they're just a little behind, so we'll give them a little bit of time. Hopefully they respond to this lawsuit, release what they have if they have it, and if not, it only adds to the government's lawsuit and criminal investigation, showing that Donald Trump did not, in fact, declassify anything, and therefore the felony charges he could be hit with are going to be much more severe. Hey everyone, this is Aspen, and did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel. We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.